Welcome to Recruit Nation Sports with Coach Ant and Coach Creek. Our guest for today is Shannon Riley, CEO of Dream Sports Group. How's everybody doing today?
Doing well. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Doing
good.
great, doing great.
I'm good. I'm good. So, I just want to tell
Living the dream.
you know what?
Living the dream.
Hey, man, everybody is. Everybody is.
No doubt, no
We're
doubt,
doing
no doubt.
we're doing big things this year with Dream in the middle, Recruit Nation, and so we want to touch on a couple of things today. So, uh, first of all, let's talk about your background, Mr. Riley. Let's talk about your background. Where you're from, your sports background, coaching, all that.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm from the state of Delaware, which most people know it's one of the smallest states out there. Only 3 counties. I played football, basketball, ran track in high school, and then I ended up going the football route. I signed a scholarship with Villanova University. I played there for 5 years, redshirt in my first year. We had a lot of success. We were ranked the number one 1AA or FCS team in the nation at one point. And then upon graduation, I went back and got my master's in school counseling and became a guidance counselor. So I did that for 13 years. And during that time, I was also the head football coach at the high school that I was at. So I had a great experience there, one molding them on the academic side, but then also working with athletes on the field. So that was like a dream come true. But then I saw the need not only for our athletes in our building, but just nationwide. When you see so many students say, I had the ability, I had the grades, but I have a hard time making connections. I just wanted to come up with a way to help kids succeed. So I started working on a program, and I know we'll get into that, but formed the Dream Scouting Network, and the rest is history, just building on top of that.
Nice. So, what drove you to create the Dream Sports Group and Dream Scouting Network? Like, what was the drive behind that? What was the motivation behind that?
Well, I just thought about my experience. Although I signed and I had offers from a lot of major schools, when I was freshman, sophomore, junior, I had a hard time breaking through. And a lot of it was because I was from a small state, I believe. And people were like, you know what, I can go into Philadelphia and recruit, which is 45 minutes away from Delaware, or I can go south and go into Maryland or Baltimore area, another major city, and recruit out of there. We can just skip over Delaware because it's a small state. Why waste our time coming in? That was our mindset. And we felt that, we weren't being seen. So my personal experience, trying to build exposure and connections. And then, like I said, as a guidance counselor and football coach, a lot of our athletes on my team had the ability, had the grades, but they just had a hard time understanding the process, what they should do, when they should do it, how they should do it. And I saw a lot of them miss opportunities, even though as a coaching staff, we were trying our hardest, in between teaching, guidance counseling, families and everything. We're trying our hardest to get their name out there, but, a lot of families felt stuck. So I just knew there was a need. So I just formed a plan of action, one, to give recruiting coordination to athletes and help guide families along the way, but then two, have some other things as far as exposure events, building, additional schools that athletes can attend after high school if they need to build their exposure and connections. So that's how it all formed. I just knew there was a need with student athletes of all sports. So I just decided, put all my actions or all my plans into action and form Dream Sports Group.
Nice. So now we see a vision grow into a tangible company with scouts in almost all 50 states, right?
Correct. Yes, we have scouts in 42 states, and they work with athletes of all sports. So start out just me, then it was just a regional program, and now we're national, and we're the fastest growing out there.
Which is amazing. And it's just I've been with the company for maybe coming in March, or I think actually in a couple of weeks I'll be with it for a year, and I've just seen the exponential growth within a year of the company. Actually, within the last couple of months, I've just seen things just like grow, like really, really fast and really big. And like I'm actually very proud of that, because it's good to be with a company that you see grow from like the ground up. and you see what it can be. So personally, I'm proud of that, and it's one of the reasons why like I think this company is going to do major things. We got a lot of good people that work for us and work with us, and all those states, and we have we have a lot more people that actually want to be a part of this and grow. So I'm very proud of that. But let's get to DSG as a whole. So let's talk about the different entities in DSG, like Recruit Nation. Let's talk about maybe the Dream Sports Academy, which is new, and the Dream Initiative. So I guess we can start with Recruit Nation.
Okay, as I mentioned, athletes need to build their exposure and showcase their abilities. So one of the things that we decided to do was have our showcase series, and that we call that Recruit Nation. Right now, big focus is on football, but we have a focus on all sports that are going to be coming out. The college coaches, we align with them. They come out, and they're the ones that do all the drills for the showcases. They evaluate all the talent. They do all the testing. So they're seeing these athletes up close and personal. So when we have athletes do very well at a showcase, either a coach passes a card along and says, we want to learn more about you, or just right there on the spot, some kids get offered because they did so much on the field. They impress the coaches. The coaches want to get them right then and there. So that's the importance of Recruit Nation. We call it college prospect showcases because there are college coaches there, and they're the ones evaluating. It helps set us above everybody else out there.
Yes, I saw at the last couple events we had at least 100. Especially in a pandemic year, we had a really good turnout of like over 100 and at least 130 kids at each event. And that's for a pandemic year. That's good. That's actually really good. So you can almost imagine what would happen in a regular year, how many you would have during a regular year without a pandemic or anything like that. So I want to touch on just where the showcases are going to be at, what areas we're focusing on and targeting, and what we're trying to do in terms of expansion.
Gotcha. Yeah, our goal is to be everywhere in 2021, but we know certain areas are open, and some are still opening up slowly. So right now we're in the Southeast. We've held showcases in Florida, Alabama. We have a few set up in Georgia, Mississippi, and so forth. So the next showcase we have is actually Super Bowl Sunday. So we have a lot of athletes, over 100 signed in to the Fort Lauderdale showcase.
Nice.
So they'll come out there. We have 8 colleges that will be there, and the ones running the drills. It will be from 8 o'clock to about 12. So those athletes can compete, showcase their abilities, and then they have enough time to get home and watch the Super Bowl, see Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. So we're not trying to take away from anything they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But it's still a great chance for them to have a football Sunday. They wake up first thing and they do their deal on the field, showcase their abilities, and then they have a chance to get home and watch the big game.
Hey, you got any predictions for Sunday or no?
It's hard to go against Tom, but Patrick Mahomes, he's the future. Well, he's right now. So I'm going with Kansas City. I just think he has that it factor to pull it up.
They got that track team over there too, man. Like, shoot,
yeah, a lot of weapons. A lot of weapons.
They say it's hard to go against Tom, but Tom could easily have 2 or 3 more losses. So,
very true.
Like, yeah, like I said last week, man. If Aaron Rodgers would have ran that in, might be talking about the Green Bay Packers in Kansas City. But hindsight is 2020, right?
No doubt. Yes.
All right, so let's talk about our bowl game, our All-American bowl game, which I thought was really awesome. I had the blessing to take part in it. Other people had the blessing to view it, and play in it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. I got some messages, over my phone that day about how awesome it was and how good of an event it was. I had the blessing to meet Joe Horn. I always like meeting NFL players, real cool guys. Shout out to Joe Horn. Maybe my 49ers might draft his son, JC. I don't know, but he's on the list. And Matt Bryant. And like I said, shout out to Landy Jones down in Alabama for putting it together, man. Did a really fantastic job. It was well run, organized, and we also got a lot of cool swag from it too. So thanks, Lanny. I appreciate that. Because people on the plane were asking me where I got that hoodie from, and I was like, "Oh man, we got that from the game." So shout out to him.
How was the weather down there?
Oh man, you got Shannon talk to she tell you.
Yeah, it was cool. When we first got down there, it was cool. We felt like we brought the East Coast weather down to the South. But day of the game, it was close to 70 degrees. It was probably like 60. Nice. So it was perfect weather for the game.
Yeah. All right, so that's a great location then.
Yeah, we got a beautiful game. It was actually we got a beautiful day, and it was actually like it's a nice area. Like Gulf Shores, Alabama is actually a nice area. I've never been to Alabama before, and I was told that like this area is like really nice, and it's a resort town, and it's just a beautiful town. Like I would go back down and visit, again, even not working. I plan to though, when I'm visiting the Dream Academy. So let's just talk about the game, the All-American game, the weekend, all of that. So, thoughts and feelings on that,
Yeah. So the game, it was outstanding, like you said. We had 84 athletes that were down there, so we had teams of 42 apiece. We had 24 states were represented in the game, and it's going to be an annual showcase of talent all across the country. Our goal is just to continue expanding upon it. Gulf Shores, as Anthony mentioned, is a beautiful area. It's a resort town right off the ocean. So we were just a few minutes away from being right at the ocean of Gulf of Mexico. So beautiful area. But like I said, it was all about the kids. They wanted one more chance to showcase their abilities. It was all seniors. A lot of them did not have a senior season if they're from the Northeast or the Midwest or the West. So they really wanted to come in and have a chance to build some bonds with some other athletes and then showcase themselves on a major scale. And as Anthony mentioned, we had Matt Bryant, all-time leading scorer for the Falcons, was one of the coaches there. Joe Horn played 11 years in the NFL, many for the Saints. He was a head coach with us. So we had some big names involved in the game. And it's just going to continue to grow and grow from there. But it was over Martin Luther King weekend. The kids came in and had a couple of days of practice, and then we went right to the game. Because we had high-level athletes, it didn't take long. We didn't have to have a whole week of practicing. They came in and did a couple of two-a-days, and they were ready to go. And the game was exciting, back-and-forth game. Came down to the last play of the game, which was a 40-yard attempt at a field goal, and it went just wide left. And that was a great way to cap off the game.
It's like a Florida State ending. I thought about that when we were kicking. I was like, man, this is a Florida State ending, man. But we had some great athletes down there, man. Shout out to Brandon Wiley. Shout out to Kai Holiday, man. Saying those two guys, man, were
4.39, huh?
Yeah. I was there to witness that. He ran that at the showcase the day before, and I'm like, I'm looking at the laser timer. You can't fool laser timers. He's like, that was a 4.39, and then he goes out.
MVP. Who won MVP? Was it Dalton? Did he win MVP?
Dalton Griffith.
Dalton Griffin, right?
Yeah, Dalton Griffith from Virginia, from Luray, Virginia. Shout out to Dalton Griffin. Dalton Griffith.
He just committed with Frostburg.
Frostburg University. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, good program.
Yeah, real good program. So they had three great quarterbacks actually there. They had Dalton. They had Dylan Bailey. Committed to Emory and Henry, and then they had Kai Holiday. Who got an offer that weekend from Mississippi State. So shout out to Coach Mike Leach and all the at Mississippi State for taking a look at one of our guys and seeing what they can do there. So it goes back to what Shannon was saying, is that kids can catch offers at these showcases and games. You run a good time, put it on there, post it on there. Coach sees that and says, "Hey, think this kid could be a fit for our program." So that was pretty big.
Yep. This shows that we've come a long way because people see with our athletes, a lot of them are under the radar. But for the SEC to be watching a Recruit Nation event and Dream All American Bowl weekend, that shows a lot. As soon as he ran that time, that word got around all throughout the Southeast. And for Mississippi State, of a major Power 5 conference SEC, to hear about Recruit Nation and within an hour or so contact him and his family with the offer, that shows that Recruit Nation is to be reckoned with. We're making a name for ourselves, and if you want to be seen, you should get to one of our events.
Absolutely. I have no argument with that. So
with that said, right, we in Gulf Shores, right? Is it what else is good going on in the Gulf Shores area?
Us, and there's us, the beach, and soon to be Dream Academy, the Dream Sports Academy, which we're going to talk about, in a few seconds. So, I want to touch on that too. New post grad coming in 2021, Dream Sports Academy. We have our football team. It's called the Stars, right?
Correct. Yep, the Stars.
Right, the Dream Stars. So let's touch on that too. Let's touch on the Dream Stars, the Dream Sports Academy, its mission, its goals, and who we're playing, and what they want to do. Like the ultimate goal for that.
We already know it's in a nice area, so that's the right there.
Season's in August and September. That's a beautiful time to be down there. So if you're an athlete, why not come down there? But a little bit about Dream Sports Academy. It gives athletes another chance to build exposure and connections. Many athletes, depending on what system they're in or where they're from, it's hard to build that exposure and make those connections with college programs. And then you see a lot of athletes during signing day, at the front, signing, but others that felt they had potential, had the grades, they weren't as fortunate, but they have ability. So what we want to do is just give them another shot, another chance to build some exposure, get some film. If they have academic issues, maybe it's test scores, we have ACT, SAT prep that gives them that assistance on a daily basis. And then we also have, the ability for them to take a few college credits, not as enough to be a full-time student and start their clock. We don't want them to lose any eligibility, but we want them to get a jump start and get a few credits out of the way. So many of them will take some courses through their local community college, just so by the time they're ready to leave us and move on to the college level, they have some credits under their belt. But the whole purpose is, get another year, get some film. We have our scouts through the Dream Scouting Network that's going to be assigned to every player. So as the season goes on, their film work is going to be done on their behalf behind the scenes. So after the 10-game schedule, hopefully there's contacts made, exposure, connections, and then they move forward and have a home that they really want to go to. So that's the goal with the Dream Sports Academy. It is our first year, but already a lot of the programs are taking notice. We had an invite to come into the PGFL, which is the Post Grad Football League, and it's one of the best out there as Palmetto Prep in South Carolina. And they have a lot of guys that have moved on to Power 5 schools. I just saw they had a tight end, I think, go to Pitt, and a few other powerful programs that are in there. And for us, not even having year one, and for them to see what we're doing as a whole and say they want us in there, shows that they feel where we're going to be. And it's going to take time to build up, but we're going to have a great coaching staff. A few of the guys who coached in the Dream All-American Bowl have committed to come on and be staff. We aren't going to announce everybody yet, but we're going to have a strong staff, and we're going to have a quality product. So we're looking forward to year one.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty good. Like I saw that there was a need for that down there because Alabama is a football crazy. It's a football crazy area. Like I remember going into a Waffle House, and I have my my dream hoodie on, and everybody is like, women are asking me over the men. They're like, hey, like, what's going on? And where's this game at? And, like, I want to take part. And I'm like, man, the women are more heavy into it than the guys.
They love football down there. It's either Roll Tide or War Eagle, but they love
Roll Tide. We don't talk about War Eagle.
Oh, yeah, he's a Creek's an Alabama fan. Well, he's been a Tide fan for as long as I know him.
Well, that's where I went to school. So, yeah. So, I want to circle back a second. Shannon, if you're a kid from Delaware, and you say, "All right, well, this post grad thing may be the thing for me," what do I need to know? What can I go there from Delaware? Where am I going to stay? How do I pay? I mean, are we premature in asking that information, or?
No, we're working on that right now. Probably this week we're going to finalize housing. So anybody from east to west coast, north to south can come, and we will have housing available. It's affordable. We have a program, a lending company that we're working with that has different options for families to allow them to come and afford, to be part of our program. And what we just tell families is, yes, we're a post-grad school, so there are fees that come with it. But if you can come with us and everything that we give you from the academic side to the personal recruiting coordination through Dream Scouting Network and getting your name out there, if you're able to land a scholarship afterwards, the little bit of investment you had to do to join the team, it's going to pay off in the long run. Even if you had a partial scholarship somewhere, the money you could get. So we're bringing in athletes all over. But the overall plan, and we're going to work on this as we go, is we're going to have multiple Dream Sports Academies. So we have 8 regions across the country. We're going to be in at least all 8 regions. So we're going to have teams that are local to every region. So we're going to have Southeast this year in the Gulf Coast area. But then we're going to move into the Mid-Atlantic. We're going to move into Northeast, the Midwest, the Central, Pacific Northwest, Southwest, South. We're going to be all over the place. With a few academies. So athletes will have to travel far if they want to go this year, but sooner than later, there'll be one in their region that they can attend.
Nice. So, what I also want to touch on too is that I think the Dream Sports Academy offers things that a lot of post-grads don't, which is our actual DSN service, which is actually included, which I believe is included in the tuition, and our ACT prep, which is also included in the tuition too. So, I would say that would give us an edge over most post-grads, as, a lot of the post-grads don't have an actual in-house recruiting service with the reach that we have right now.
Value, a lot of value.
Yeah, it's a lot of value in that. So can we just talk about that for a quick second?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We have under our umbrella, which is Dream Scouting Network. That's our recruiting service. And we have scouts all across the country that work individually with families and athletes. So anybody who comes to our school, we're not just sending everybody's information out in a big package, a whole bunch of people. We're going to assign them a personal scout. And the job of the scouts is going to be really get each individual's name out there. They're going to have conferences with the families, with the athletes, talk to them about targeted schools, evaluate their abilities, and find the best types of fits. So then the season's going on, they know the programs to target, but they're going to do work weekly to get their information out. So they're going to have the preseason, 10 games, and then a little bit afterwards, once the season ends, to help them find a home by signing day. And no other program has that in-house service. And if they say they have a recruiting service, it's not personalized the way ours will be. Everybody in our program will have their own assigned personal scout.
Nice. That's really big, because you see from other post grads and other schools like that, they don't have that type of service. They say, well, yeah, we can get recruited and I can talk and I can have that, but you don't actually have that personal recruiting coordination where you have a scout making calls, sending emails, making contacts on your behalf. So he's basically doing his part and you're doing your job in the classroom and on the field. So you don't really have to worry about, all the other uncertainty when it comes to, the recruiting and, having to do it yourself. So I think that's a big weight and a big load off the player, which will enable the player to focus more on their craft and their books. So, like I really can get with that. And, same thing with the ACT prep. A lot of kids don't have the requisite score, so, and a lot of schools don't have that. They don't have ACT prep in there. So I would say that would be big too, because, that's one of the main parts of recruiting. It's actually grades and transcripts first and scores first, and then what you can do on the field. Because most coaches won't even talk to you or give you a second thought if those first two things aren't square. So I think that's a really big deal too. So I got to give a shout out to Mike Brown, for putting that together and putting that in our program as well. So kudos to him.
One of the things that I noticed too that is offered too is the essay writing workshop, which I think is great because take my daughter for example. She's an honor student, smarter than I ever was, but she can't write an essay to save her life, and which I can understand because she's in honors English, but her essays are just horrible. So I noticed that was something that Dream is offering too, which I think is great, because those college essays are very important, so.
Definitely. Yeah, we want to be comprehensive. You join in our program. It's not about getting your word out there as just an athlete. We're more than athletes. We want to be a student first. They're going to college, continue playing, but the main thing is, I'm trying to get my degree. Right. And I can move forward in life, whether I want to own a business, be a doctor, lawyer, whatever you want to do, that's the goal of getting to college. So we have to prepare them in the right way to be able to get there. So the essay writing, the ACT, SAT prep, all helps. Part of the help program with our ACT, SAT program gives them career exploration because a lot of athletes, they want to go to college, but they haven't really thought about what do I want to do or what best matches my personality type or everything along those lines. So there is, career exploration there that can give them the best idea of what majors might be best for them as well. So very comprehensive program, great partnership. And anybody who signs in through the Dream Scouting Network gets it, but also the athletes through our Dream Sports Academy will get that as well.
That's great.
Nice. So lastly I want to touch on the new Dream Initiative, which is our nonprofit. That's something new. I think that's another big thing that we can definitely touch on that has the potential to help people in a major way. What I can see from the company right now is that to me it feels that we're just a community help, more than just a scouting service and more than just a showcase provider, but we're actually doing things to help the community as a whole. The school, helps the community. DSN period. We're giving options to kids that normally wouldn't. Like, I just want to touch on something real quick. I'm looking at signing day, and I'm seeing a lot of kids sign with schools, and I'm seeing a lot of kids that haven't signed with schools. So and I'm looking at some kids, and some kids are like, well, my coach didn't help me, and and I don't have the resources that some other kids would have, and that other kids have, and as much as I see the praise and the happiness, I see a lot of just how do I say this? A lot of not depression, but a lot of kids just saying like, man, I'm seeing kid A on this side, signing and having the hat ceremony and the balloons and all that, and then it's me at home, So I just think things like DSN and the Dream Sports Initiative. I mean, the Dream Initiative, might be able to help a kid that is on the other end of the spectrum. So let's talk about that right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, we just formed Dream Initiative Foundation. And what that's going to do is provide opportunities for families to be able to join into our programs. So it's going to raise money to help athletes either join Dream Scouting Network. It's going to help them with able to join our Dream Sports Academy, and then also showcase help. There's families. I got a message today. A mother said, "I have 3 boys, and I would love them to attend a Recruit Nation event. I just need to know what I could do. Is there discounts available? I can't really do it on my own." And that type of thing. We want to help families out. We could just hold showcases and not have coaches there and just try to take people's money like some may do. But our whole thing is when we hold a showcase, we need coaches there. That's the value. We want to help these kids out. That's the whole point of it. When we do Dream Scouting Network, there's so many athletes, as you mentioned, that sometimes on our sign day are outside looking in. There's so many athletes in the building, but there might be 3 kids in the front that are signing. Everybody else is in the crowd watching, but saying, it could have been me if I would have had a little extra help. That's what the Dream Scouting Network is for, to help push these kids. Not for 5-star athletes, 4-star athletes, but it's for people that need that extra push. Get your name out there. So we're all about community, as I said. So we have the Dream Initiative Foundation out there. It's going to help generate money to help out families so they can join some of our programs. And eventually we're going to also have mentorship programs to help athletes as well. My goal is to help every athlete have the mindset that they can be an entrepreneur. They can own their own business. They can do whatever they need. So we're going to bring athletes, business owners, people into schools to sit down with a lot of these athletes and tell them, hey, you can use sports to get to the next level, yes, but then you can build upon that and you can own your own business or be an entrepreneur. So we want to have some mentorship programs that branch out as well to really help these athletes from 9th grade moving forward so they can set these goals and accomplish them.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great, man. Because we see a lot of kids that have the resources to attend showcases, to sign with us, and to do other things. Just from this this couple of weeks ago at the All-American game, we saw people come from like all over to come to a game and bring their entire families. Coming from some people came from West Virginia. Some people came as far out as Idaho, as Boise, Idaho. So that's saying something. That's saying something to the kind of resources some people have and the kind of support that some people have, and we have to understand that a lot of kids don't have that same type of support. And if we could do something to help these kids get on an even playing field, that's a good thing. So, I think that's a really big thing that a lot of other places don't offer either. A lot of other services don't offer either. The ability to help, the ability to do some community outreach to that effect.
Exactly.
So, I think that's a really good thing. So, and one thing I want to touch on too, lastly, is about our scouts. Our guys, our ladies. And DSN, that's what makes DSN tick, and that's the lifeblood of our I think of our company, our people. Like you said, we have people in 42 states. We're trying to get to 50. So I just want to talk about our guys and our girls, and how you feel they tie into our company.
Yeah, I mean, that's the foundation. The Dream Scouting Network is the foundation of the program. It's the assistance, personal recruiting coordination that I mentioned for student athletes. So when we think of Dream Sports Group, the first is Dream Scouting Network. We have people all over the country that have the passion, that want to help out student athletes. They're former athletes themselves. Some are coaches, some are trainers. They just want to give back. So we tell them there's opportunities there. If you join in, then you have ability to be a scout, and then you can go to games. check out talent, pass out cards, talk to families. You can connect with the high school programs, talk to coaches about our program and how it can help their student athletes. And talk to youth coaches, anybody in the community, spread the word. But I'm sure, as I mentioned before, there's going to be athletes that say, I need help. I feel I can play at a high level. I have the grades, but right now I don't have any colleges emailing. None of them are calling. I don't know what to do. So they join in with us and they work with one of our scouts. From that day until graduation, our scouts are going to be working with them, help guiding them along. And we tell everybody, you got to send a certain amount of recommendations out a month, on behalf of the student athlete that you work with. And you also have to be checking in at least one time a month with the family. So keep them in the loop. We don't want anybody to sign up and then they don't hear from anybody. And then, it's time for graduation. And then they're wondering what happened. Where did my money go? What did I do? If there's someone checking in every step of the way, everybody's on the same page. The targeted schools might change as you go along. The athlete's going to get bigger, faster, stronger. So there might be more opportunities. So everybody needs to work together. And that's the key component of our program is that personal recruiting coordination is someone's there with you. You're not just signing into a program that you don't know what's going on. You have that person who's going to be there every step of the way.
Nice. Yeah.
That's the great part of it. But Shannon, let me ask you, let me go back when you were a coach, and you had to work with, trying to get athletes in the school. I want to say, what were your challenges? And I'm going to ask, the reason why I ask this is because I know there are some coaches that we come across who pride themselves on getting their kids into school. Like that's what they're about. They want to make sure they get, but there are some coaches that welcome and push, the help. So you having been a coach, what challenges did you face and why would you, I guess, say, encourage, athletes to use the Dream Scouting Network?
Gotcha. Great question. When I was coaching, I felt at some point I had to be the end all be all of the program. So mentally, I was like, I had to be the weight room coach so that everybody has to be with me. I had to be the recruiting coordinator and no one else could help because I have to make sure I'm doing everything for my kids. And that was my mindset when I first started. I didn't want to feel like I was letting anybody down in any aspect. But then as you grow and you learn more about it, the key is helping the student athletes get to the next level. So if there's a program out there that can help you and help your kids get exposure, when it's all said and done, they're going to be on the auditorium in our school signing. They're going to be a Glasgow High School student or Newark High School student or wherever school, they're still with your school. So that brings more exposure to your program anyway if they use the service that helped build their exposure and got out there. So if we're thinking about the athlete and the families first, then why not bring in help? And I saw, I had big senior classes, 30, 40 kids sometimes. I couldn't give the personal attention to every single student. Some wanted to go West Coast, some in the South, some D2, some D1. And if a coach tells you they have all the time in the world to focus on every single athlete and send out 50 recommendations a month for all 40 seniors on their team, and then even the juniors because they're up next, they're fooling themselves. So if you can use a program like ours that works with you, not against you, with you, and as a resource, then everybody wins. The kid gets to the next level. The family is excited because they don't have to pay that college tuition. They get a little bit off. And then as a school, that's just another, athlete from your school that made it to the next level. So everybody wins. So I just tell coaches, let's work together. And when it's all said and done, your athlete made it. But, the athlete is the focus.
That's the most important part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that was a really good question because I think a lot of our scouts run into that type of obstruction sometimes from coaches. And I understand that as a former coach, you do pride yourself on getting your kids into schools. but I think a lot of it, like Shannon said, a lot of it, it becomes a weight because, like, especially as a head coach, you feel the responsibility of doing everything, of being a weight room coach, being the head coach. Some coaches run their own offense or defense, game planning, and then what a lot of people don't understand about coaching is there's a lot of taking care of kids because not every kid in your team is fortunate. So, like, there's a lot of things that people don't see, a lot of rides home or a lot of buying of food or a lot of making sure the kid's okay and making sure, making sure everybody gets home from practice okay, because, a lot of kids, some kids go home to houses with lights on at night and some don't. So, so it's, there's a lot in it. So, I always say when you coach, you become a coach, a father, a mentor, a psychologist, and
a little bit of everything.
A personal trainer and a recruiting coordinator.
Yeah, you got to realize during the season too. I mean, they're coaches and they're teachers. So grading of papers, family, all that takes place at the same time during the season, and you expect to get information out for all your athletes. It's tough. So like I said, it takes a lot off the coach. And like I said, we're a resource. We're helping your student athletes. We want them to be successful. So we can take some off a coach's plate. Why not?
Yeah. I would think that, all this is an enhancement to what you already do. So it's like if you're already out there grinding for the kids, this should be something that just piggybacks on it to make it easier and more streamlined for you to do. It's like, it's better to talk to a coach with two voices than one. So
a lot of our athletes, I mean, you talk to them, talk to the parents, they'll tell you that investment they put in was well worth it. Everybody with the feedback they give when they sign, we see a lot of thank you to Dream Scouting Network being there every step of the way. The families, whenever they had a question, sometimes it's their first time, child going through, they don't know. So we were just that resource for them every step of the way. They would tell you and tell any coach, anybody out there, that we were a great resource for them personally.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing, and I think that's I just think we're just a help, and since we're the new guys on the block, a lot of people are just like, what are they about? But then when they see how comprehensive our program is, they're just like, okay, this is something I want to be a part of. When I'm handing out cards at games or I'm talking to parents, the first question is like, so what is this? And then when I start talking about it and what we do and the services we offer, I get in, like I said before, I get into, the SAT prep. I get into our actual 12-step process of what we do. People are like, yeah, you don't have to sell me anymore. I get through 0.6 and they're just like, enough.
You got to think about if someone joins in the Dream Scouting Network, they get ACT, SAT assistance. If you pay for that separately, that's going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Going to showcases all over the country. If you had to pay for these showcases to be in front of college coaches, you're paying so much with that aspect. And then to feel that someone has your back and sending out information on a monthly basis for you and checking in, we package all that together. Anybody who signs in Dream Scouting Network, they can go to our events. So we have people that are popping up all over that are signed in with us that are attending these events and being seen. So they're getting the ACT, and they're getting a career exploration part of our program. They're getting the personal recruiting coordination, and they're getting showcases all for one price. And you can't beat that. If anybody had to price that out separately, they're breaking their pockets. But with us, we make it affordable, and we're giving you all these aspects as part of our program.
Oh yeah, I think that's just great. It's like I said, it's a killer package.
More value. Man. I love that word, value.
Yeah, value.
Yeah, and that's the name of the game in 2021, man. This new age, man, it's all about value. Especially with circling back to the pandemic, and a lot of people with loss of jobs, with loss of jobs comes loss of opportunities, and I feel that our service actually gives people a chance to get opportunities back, because like you said, if you do everything separate, thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars, like, me and you, Shannon, we worked in education. We know that an SAT prep program, a high level one is ACT prep program is going to cost in the thousands. Like going to showcases, like in different states, flying, getting a hotel, and paying for the showcase. Can equal out to like almost a grand or two, depending on where it is. And then like other things too. Like just recruiting as a whole. If you had to do it by yourself, how all of us, we're not spring chicken, but the old school way. You remember VHS tapes, VHS tapes, having to find the school, having to actually like find the school. Like, I tell kids, like, today, you don't know how blessed you are to have the ability to go on your cell phone, go on Google, and like look up Nick Saban's phone number. If you wanted to call him, not saying he's going to pick up or anything like that, but you could at least call him or email him. Like that's actually incredible that, they can do that. Like, back in the day, we couldn't do that. We had to hope that, we asked our coach, like, hey, did anybody come by, or, anybody come to games, or, you're on the sideline when you're not playing, you're looking into the stands and like, hey man, that looks like, you see somebody with a pit jacket on, you're like, man, that might be a scout, but it just might be a guy with just a pit jacket on. But now
me and my grandmother literally got on plane and got from school to school dropping off my film because I wasn't getting the work from the coaches. So we got on a plane, rented a car, and went from school to school dropping off film. It wasn't a phone call or an email. It didn't work that way back then. So we put some miles on, you know what I mean? So, it's much, much easier now. But, I want to segue into one other thing. And Anthony, you can go back, or stop me if you weren't done there. But Shannon, for the Dream Sports Group, you got all the different, divisions there. Do you have any thoughts of adding any more, or are you good with where things are now and you just want to grow from there, or are you looking
to continue to build? Yeah, as we talk to all these creative minds, people that have joined the program, we just have more ideas, and we just think about what value, as you mentioned, can we provide. And there's athletes, one of the things we're rolling out is Recruit Nation, but we have Recruit Nation Junior, which is going to be a big focus. For the high school kids, it's more of a showcase, do your times, get testing, compete, and showcase your abilities in front of college coaches. But on the youth level, we want to be more foundational and camp-based, but we still want high-quality people doing it. So we're going to have college coaches still doing a lot of that teaching. And then we're also going to have some of our pro guys that we've been working with use some of their resources and get former pros out there that are going to teach the foundation of the skills. So Recruit Nation Junior is something that's going to be big. Another thing that we have rolling out is going to be called Dream 7, which is our 7-on-7 division. And we're going to get that all over the country. It's just another way for people to compete, football during the season. And then after the season, all you can do really to play football and compete is 7-on-7, besides going to showcases. So, that's something we talked to Anthony about, putting in New Jersey and some other areas. So we're going to roll that out coming this summer with Dream 7. And we have a few more things that we're going to have as well. But we're not done. We aren't just putting things together just to do it. We're listening to the families, the athletes, coaches, trainers. People say there's a need for this. Then, our group comes together. We talk about it and see if it's something that makes sense and if it can give value. We just don't want to do anything just to roll something out that looks like it's a money grab or anything. Like, we want to make sure that if we do something, it's going to give the value to the consumer, to the athletes and the families.
Absolutely, man. I think, like I said, like we're an ever expanding, company. I like to look at it as just we're just always morphing. We're never stagnant, and that's what you want out of a company.
Especially, I can say that this platform. Sorry to cut you off, but this platform right here is going to be huge because when athletes sign in, like I said, they're trying to build exposure. And if we can get our athletes who sign into our program, on this, and we can ask them questions and get their film out and some other things. But this platform really for them to be seen by a lot and really get to know the person, because when you send out a video and some other things, it's just a video. You're not getting to know the athlete. But if they can get on this platform with you guys, and you guys can ask them questions a little bit about their work ethic, leadership, everything along those lines, then that just adds the value to them. And then they can send this out. Clips of this can go out, and coaches, can check in and see these on a weekly basis and really get to know the athletes that they're recruiting. So as we talk about adding more things in, this right here is just evidence of what value can we give. So I appreciate you guys putting this together and having me on as your first guest. I feel special, man. Thank you.
Hey, man. Hey, like I said, man, everything's growing, man. Everything's growing. We have arms and branches everywhere, man. Like I said, we have some. I said before, we have really good people, working with us. Said, shout out to, I call them the Jones brothers. Lanny and Chad Jones, Lanny and Chad Jones. Shout out to Coach Dwayne Clark. He's doing big things out in Virginia. His guy, some of his guys had a really great signing day. I got to give a shout out, to Coach Flora up there and up in New York. He's doing his thing up there, expanding things up there, and I just wanted to, just all the scouts out there doing their thing right now. Want to tell you guys, listen, don't get discouraged. Stay on your grind, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, stay on your grind. Same thing. Kim Rucker, I want to give a shout out to her. We're actually going to have Kim Rucker on the show next week, and we're going to have one of her players on there to be named. But we're going to see her on the show. She's going to talk about what she's doing with softball and what she's doing in the Southeast and once again, Alabama, because I got a feeling that Dream is going to take over the state of Alabama, and we're going to have a big foothold in that state. So, hopefully Nick Saban and everybody, associated with that team will get to know us pretty well. Hey, I'm looking at you, Nick, man. Slide me a few tickets or something like that, man. That'd be cool, man. So, yeah, but like I said, man, just shout out to all the scouts out there. Shout out to all the directors, all the the presidents and all that stuff. And same thing. Shout out to all of our dream signees and our players. And I'm gonna give a congratulations to everybody who signed yesterday. Everybody who signed, congratulations. To the people who didn't sign, there's still options out there. There are still schools looking for players. So it's not over. Signing day is pretty much, to be honest, and if I'm going to be straight about it, signing day is for D1 schools. D2, D3, and then IA schools, signing day is irrelevant to them. It's nice because they can put it up there, but they're looking for players all year round. So, just don't get discouraged, guys. Just stay with it, and, like I said, on other things, consider
we're here to do this.
Say that again.
I'm telling them we're here if they need us. We're here if they need us.
Like I said, yeah, consider us as an option, man. We have two options. We have Dream Scouting Network, which provides the scouting and recruiting service, and then we have the Dream Sports Academy, which is, hey, a double bonus. Like you figure, this is a way to double bonus it, guys. Join with DSN. And if you go to the Dream Sports Academy, that's 2 times the recruiting for the price of one. So you can't get mad at that, And you always have people here that are, willing to help and willing to you know, put you on a path to success. So
I got one last question for me that I want to ask Shannon. And so Shannon, as a you had a career, and you took a leap of faith to start this. So as an entrepreneur, I think what you did is inspiring and can be inspiring to many. And even to the future athletes. As they go to school and be whatever it is that they're going to be. And I think taking that leap of faith and starting Dream, it is inspiring. It's inspiration. It's inspiring to me to see what it's become. So I want to ask you, what's your why?
Oh, great question. I always been a self-starter. I always want to achieve when people said I couldn't. When I wasn't the fastest, biggest, strongest, but I knew I had the ability and I had faith in myself. I wanted to push forward and show people that, don't write me off. I don't care if I'm from a small state, school isn't the best. I'm going to make it out and I'm going to do what I have to do. So I always had goals and always put my best foot forward to accomplish those goals. And, you have wins and losses in life. But I just saw this as another thing that I could accomplish. And sometimes you have to burn the boats. If you want to take the island, get there, burn the boats, and now you have no choice. You can't go back. So that's what it is. You
gotta swim.
And then you say, okay, I got to put everything into it to accomplish this goal. So, I didn't know what it would turn into. Like I said, it was me at first, and I was just finding some people in the Delaware area, Maryland area to work with. But then as I was working with them, people all over the country were saying, hey, can you help me? I live in Texas. I see what you're doing. And then I was like, okay, I'm getting this feedback all over. I know I can grow this thing. But I'll tell anybody, you just got to believe in yourself, find that support system, whether it's spouse, family, friends, that group that's going to help support you with your dream, and then continue to push forward and make it happen. So this is not an overnight thing, and I couldn't do it by myself. The guys that Anthony mentioned are really helping, and everybody throughout. Every scout that is signed on, they're helping build the word in their community. So I appreciate everybody, and you too as well. In New Jersey, coming in, helping showcases and other things that you guys have done. That's helped supporting me. But I'm not winning if the team's not winning. So my whole goal is provide opportunities for people that are given 100%. I want to say, okay, here's a position for you, and let's work together and collaborate and build upon this division or this area. So anybody who shows they're putting in work and they want the best for themselves, they can join in and we can work. But I just need to see people are passionate as much as I am, or when I was first starting out, and I still am. If you guys show me that, then let's work together and let's be a success together.
Yeah, and I kind of been wanting to say that for a while too, and that's actually the truth, man. Like I said, I've been with this company for a year, and I've already, from the first conversation we had, last, I think it was February, Shannon. I think February or March, something like that. I told you, I was like, listen, man, before I jump into this, I got to ask my wife first. I got to see what she says. I got to see what the boss says, because, for whatever titles we got in here as CEO or, director or president or vice president or whatever, the real CEOs is at home, and quiet. They're at home right now. So, when my wife, said, let me get a night. Let me look at this, and let me, I'll get back with you tomorrow. And she comes back and she's like, go for it. I'm like, it was legit. You know what I'm saying? Because, my wife is one of the most, when it comes to things, and, ideas and things that I want, and she's a stickler for details, and she's like, she likes to know everything, and she's skeptical. But when she saw this, she was like, this would be a perfect fit for you. And the same thing when I was telling Creek and everybody else that I deal with, hey, this is the, this is the thing that requires a leap of faith. But if you believe in yourself and you're confident in yourself, this could work out really well for you. And like I said, in the past year, I've seen so much growth, man. So much growth. So many people signing on, so many people doing big things, and they got their nose to the ground and they just in the dirt, man. It's crazy, man. There's always a saying, exotic sands come after the dirt, right? those we gotta be there first. So, I see a lot of people out there grinding and moving and make things happen. And like I said, I'm proud of each and every one of the scouts in here. And I just hope for everybody, to do big things. And we want this company to be, I think, bigger than rivals and 24/7. I think we want to be at that level where where kids are looking at our star ratings soon and just be like, hey man, those are the DSN star ratings, and these are the DSN All American games on TV, and these are the Recruit Nation All American games on TV, and things like that. And I think we have a really 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 good shot of getting to that point. I think we're actually well on our way to getting to that point because, some things are being done so fast. It's ridiculous. So,
we're moving quickly, man. The goal is, see the vision, and then we're working to get there. So we don't just sit back and hope and wish. I mean, you got to have the vision and then make it happen. So, we have quality people, and we're bringing more people in. So I keep telling people, if you want to be involved, and you want to, make a living and have a legacy for yourself, we're growing right now. So anybody who comes in and goes 100% with us, there's sky's the limit because we're gonna have so much going on. We want to be that name in the game where when people think of high school exposure events or recruiting or anything else, like you said, they're thinking about Dream. Anything under that umbrella, they're thinking about Dream.
Oh yeah, man. That's actually that's a good thing, man. I'm like I said, man, it's a real good thing, and I just think piggybacking off the game, man, like that game was just an amazing atmosphere, and just imagine how it can be next year now that we know what to do. Now that we know what to do, we know what we did well, we know what we needed to work on, but it was incredible at this point, this year. So I think next year will be even bigger. And I see a lot of feedback from parents and coaches like, when's the next one? When's the next one? Like I figure if we could have had a game the week after, people would have probably been like, all right, we'll just come on.
On. A lot of excitement, man. There's a lot of excitement, which is a good thing. They're ready to see what we have next. And we got a few things we're going to announce soon, but a few things that are going to be coming up late summer into fall. So everybody just keep your ears out. Hopefully I'm invited back on the show at some point and I can go into more detail about where we are.
Hey man, you're always a welcome guest on on our show, man. Trust me, man. Like I said, the CEO is always a welcome guest on our show on Recruit Nation Sports. We are proud to have you. We're proud to have you as our inaugural guest. Creek, you got anything else to say, man, before we sign out of here?
I just want to say, it's all exciting things. Shannon, thank you for taking the time to tell us about yourself and the growth of the company, and explaining your why. Because and talking about the leap of faith you took. You gave up your tenure, to start a company, that has now multiple divisions, and now you'll have your own schools. If that's not inspiring, if that's not motivating to athletes and all the scouts, I don't know what is. So I thank you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right. So this was Recruit Nation Sports. This was our first inaugural show. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And like I said, please like and subscribe to our channels. The link is in the bio on YouTube. And just everybody have a great day. Peace and love.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.